G'day, Alan here from the Australian Pastures Gene Bank. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to use Genesys to search for wild plant germplasm that is adapted to a specific climate. I will be using the tropical legume Desmanthus as an example, which is of interest for two reasons. Firstly, it has been identified as anti-methanogenic, and secondly, it's a legume that can push down into the subtropical environments that require more cold tolerance, and it's this trait that I'm interested in. Today I'm going to show you three options of how to go about that using Genesys. Okay, so the first method I'm going to show you is the manual version. So log into Genesys and then log in with your account details here. We're going to go to Browse Accession Records and we're going to limit the search for taxonomy to Desmanthus. Apply the filter. You can see here we have 1,520 accessions, and the other thing we might do is just put in the APG as the holding institute to make it easy to source the germplasm. Okay, so we've got 494 accessions in the Australian Pastures Gene Bank. We can click on Map and look at their distribution across the world. So today we're interested in finding the accessions that come from the coldest climates in the world. So there's all this climate information for accessions that have a georeference, so there's latitude and longitude. And so if we look at the minimum temperature of the coldest month, and we here have at least so we're actually after at most. So if we reduce this to at most 10 degrees, so this means that the minimum temperature of the coldest month is at least 10 degrees. And straight away you can see we've reduced this to 152 accessions, so we're going to go a little bit up more severe than that, and we'll just try 5. Okay, we've got 49, we could stop here or perhaps just go, let's try for 2. So these accessions here, there are 26, come from climates that have the minimum temperature of the coldest month is not more than 2 degrees Celsius. So these are fairly cold environments. So this is a great place to start. We can go through here, look at the individual accessions, and add some or all of these to our list. Sorry, I thought I did that. Oh, I think we come down here. Add to my list. Okay. So now when you look at my list, you'll see the 26 accessions. Okay, so you're probably thinking there might be a better way of going about that. So Genesys has a subsetting tool and it will effectively do those steps for you, and probably with a little bit more sophistication. So after selecting the subsetting tool, and just as a reminder, we've got Desmanthus and the Australian Pastures Gene Bank as our filters. So we've got 363 accessions. If we want to find the most cold tolerant plants, actually comes under the heat stress indicator. So we'll now look to create subsets or core collections based on an environmental indicator. We're looking at heat stress here, and we're actually going to look at average minimum temperature. And then we come down to generate subsets. And what I want to do is force Genesys into generating quite a few subsets so that hopefully one of those subsets is centered around cold tolerant Desmanthus germplasm. So let's try 11 to 19. Great, and here's the results of our analysis. It's got 13 custom groups, and in this table here, we can select the minimum temperature or leave it on the mean, and we can actually look at each of those groups to see their average minimum temperature. So you can see that set 1 is 15 degrees and already set 2 it has 57 accessions. Set 2 is 4.38 degrees, 4.39, and we can scroll down and look at these. So there's one down here that has 2.94 degrees, and another one that's minus Cool, so it looks like it's been really successful. What I might do is grab this subset that has the most extreme that we're looking at. So the average minimum temperature is almost negative 2 degrees for this subset. Click on that. I'm going to generate, and here are the 8 accessions. Cool. So what you might see is that my list before, we already added the 26 accessions. These are already included here. So that's not a bad start. It means that the two approaches have given us the same result. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do is have a look at the analogs tool, which is currently under development in Genesys. So not all the features are finished, but it is pretty exciting, and I like some of the graphics. So yeah, pretty keen to start talking about it. So to start off, we're going to zoom in on this candidate subset and just actually find, if we can, the latitude and longitude for one of the accessions. Go to this one here. And so this sheet shows information about the accessions, so when it was collected, 1977, who it was collected by, in this case Bob Reed, CSIRO, and here you can see the climatic stats for that accession for the georeference. So it was collected from an environment that has the coldest month has a minimum temperature of minus 4.6 degrees. So this certainly meets our target of a cold tolerant Desmanthus accession. Cool. So, right, let's write down the latitude and longitude. So minus 24.58 and longitude minus 65.83. Okay, back to the subsetting tool. And we'll just click out of this. And this time we'll click on Analogs tool. Yeah. Okay, we'll enter that latitude and longitude in. So minus 24.58 and minus 65.83. And so what the analog tool will do is it will look for analogs which are similar accessions. It doesn't do that just using the current climate. You can tell it to use a future climate. So here we can use SSP2-4.5, which is 2041 to 2060 predicted climate. So at random, we're going to choose that one. And again, we can look at heat stress and get recommended accessions. So it's now recommending accessions based on that climate that we selected. So multiple distinct values are considered from a total of 319 locations. And so here, again, where this is nice data, you can see that from my list that some of the accessions it's recommending we already have on our list from the manual and the subsetting tool, but it is providing some new accessions as well. And what I quite like is this graph down here where you can see the accession location groups and the actual climate information that goes with that. So just to refine that list above, we can see this the orange group here, pretty much the coldest environment in terms of minimum temperatures. And so we can just click on this accession up here, which is the orange one. And just make sure that's on our list. So 48473. Cool. Well, it wasn't on our list. Oh, it is on our list, so that's great. And so from here, probably ready to order. To finalise your seed order, click on My List, which will bring up a list of your accessions. You can order seed directly from the Australian Pastures Gene Bank on Genesys. Click on Request for Material and then enter your personal detail to complete your seed order. So that's 3 different approaches on how you can use Genesys to find accessions of Desmanthus that are adapted to cooler environments. Now, obviously you could use this for other species, and you can also tip it on its head and find germplasm that is adapted to warmer or higher temperature drought stress environments. So thank you for watching. Click on subscribe to follow us and like our video if the content was useful. Cheers for now. Bye.